Use the natural enemies in your garden to work for you. Rebel Canners teaching all kinds of food preservation, especially the old ways. Conservation of our natural predators and the natural insects enemies. So the enemies of those insects that harm our crops. Everybody, of course, thinks of honeybee right off the bat, but there are many native pollinators that we need to be conserving in order to suppress pests and increase crop yields. Many beneficial insects rely on plants for nectar and pollen or shelter. Plants commonly recommended to provide these resources are the native plants. By returning those native plants to your garden landscape, you can increase your garden yields. Nobody wants to be out there hand pollinating our native food crops. But also the native honeybee, or actually the European honeybee, is not the answer to everything either. By planting things like milkweed, we can attract monarch butterflies. Also remember that some birds are pollinators as well. Many spiders are the natural enemy of insects that are harmful to our garden. The same is true of many species of native wasps, and flies are actually native pollinators that we don't think of. Again, we kind of think of the wasp, but never usually the fly. There are several native wasps that are either pollinators or beneficial insects. Like the monarch butterfly, there's also several species of bumblebee that are on the extinction list. So what can we do to attract these beneficial insects into our gardens and our crop growing areas? It doesn't have to be a garden, it could be a large crop growing area. One simple thing is to build a native bee home. Provide them with shelter so that they will have their young and, hang out in your yard. Stop thinking of these very necessary plants like goldenrod, which is the source of late fall honey for many, many beneficial insects, not just the honeybee, as weeds, but rather think of them as very necessary native plants that we need to be surrounding our garden with. Use plants such as wild strawberry as a ground cover. Many of the native pollinators require this plant. Establish a small native flower meadow in your yard. Be kind to our native pollinators. Leave them a winter habitat. Don't rake up all of the leaves. Leave a few leaf piles around the edges of your garden. Don't mow until after May so that they have the tall grasses and pollen. And never, ever spray pesticides on your garden. In conclusion, be sure to use the native pollinators and have them work with you instead of fighting them with pesticides. Have a great day, Rebel Canners. Like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Many more episodes in our gardening series and our canning series, as well as wild foraging to come.